What's up, fellas? It's time for Wake Up Mintzy, presented by the fine folks of Dude Wipes. Dude Wipes, here to clean up all your messes. Let it rip with Dude Wipes. Find them at Amazon, Walmart, Target, nationwide. One use of Dude Wipes will change your life. You'll never need dry, scratchy toilet paper again. It's a revolution. It's a movement, so get on board with Dude Wipes. I'm fired up today because, well, for a lot of reasons. There's a lot of good things going on. There's good momentum. It's summertime in Chicago. The Barstool office is popping this week with the Dozen Tournament. And we've got two fine gentlemen in here with me to start the show. And first, we're going to be joined by literally one of my favorite people at Barstool. We've been boys since the day I got hired. His first appearance on Wake Up Mintzy. He's here for the Dozen Tournament. He's a Dozen Trivia champion, coming off a big win for Uptown Balls yesterday. Glenny Balls in the house. What's up, Glenny? How we doing, King?
It hyped me up to hear What's Up, Fellas. I haven't heard a good What's Up, Fellas in quite some time. Remember, I used to do my own What's Up,
Yours
Fellas.
was good. Yours was good.
I've recently tried to do it, though, and I've lost it. So I've lost that, but it felt good to hear official What's Up, Fellas from the man himself. And I'm happy to be here in beautiful Chicago.
Hell yeah. Time to chug some Stella Blue coffee. Time to wake up, get our minds right, get the Stella Blue cold brew. It's summertime. There's nothing better than iced coffee in the summertime. And Big Cat, Stella Blue have some damn good cold brew. Mm-hmm. And we're also joined all week. What a treat.
Yeah.
By Connor Griffin, who we'll get into the story of that. But first of all, Connor, how are you?
I feel fantastic. We come in here every single day when you're on air because you're the lead into our show on Mostly Sports, and I always see the energy. I always see the fun stuff going on, and I'm glad that I get to be a part of it this week. So thank you very much for having me.
Hey, Connor, can I tell you one thing quickly?
What's up?
Just after hearing your voice, I think in person for the first time, maybe.
Yeah, we've never worked together at all.
You have an enchanting voice.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Enchanting voice.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. So
well, Connor,
happy to be here.
All right, Connor, let's get into so. Why are you here for Wake Up Mintzy this week?
I had a prediction last week on Mostly Sports when I was up at the desk filling in for Brandon that went wrong. I said it was a surefire guarantee. It did not happen. I said it was really dumb. But I think if you've been watching the NBA Finals, the ESPN coverage has been awful, and the halftime show in particular has sucked so bad. And I said Malika Andrews, they rushed a commercial so quick that she doesn't even introduce the hosts. Like Stephen A. Smith and all them, and I said that, she's not going to introduce them. I think it was game 2. She's not going to introduce them. I said, guarantee. Really dumb thing, but it turned into this, massive thing where everybody was watching the halftime show, and I was wrong, and she did introduce everybody. So I got sent here to, I guess get some reps in and make sure I understand the value of the host chair and not make predictions that I'm not able to back up. So that's why I'm here.
Well, I guess one man's misfortune is another man's, or it's one man's tragedy is another man's fortune. Is that the saying? Either way, we're thrilled to have you. Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
We're going to have a huge-ass week here. It's so much fun when the Barstool office is popping and everybody's in town for the Dozen. And a lot of stuff to get I got a lot of stuff to get to in the open. First of all, congratulations to Boston Celtics. Banner 18 last night. They beat the shit out of Dallas from pillar to post last night in that game. I mean, just really dominated most of the series. Obviously, they got blown out in Game 4, but it seemed like they just wanted to party in Boston. And party in Boston they did. First championship since 2008. Congrats to our boss, Dave Portnoy. Hey, look, when Dave's happy, everybody's happy. And not just is he thrilled because Michigan football and Boston both won championships. He won $1.6 million on DraftKings. He did a $100,000 parlay on Scotty Scheffler on the Friday of the RBC Heritage when he was plus 550 to win it. It was the week after the Masters when he won at Hilton Head with the Celtics. And really an all-time stroke of gambling genius by Dave because the Boston odds were never good. They were a heavy favorite by parlaying with Scheffler. He got the 16-1 back. He has $1.6 million, and the Dave Portnoy gambling heater continues. Hit Michigan for $1 million. He had 500 against Bama. Had $500K on KC in the Super Bowl. Had UConn to win the national title for over $1 million. I believe it was a couple million. Hits that.
And Scotty Masters, too.
Yeah, Scotty Masters. And he has, and he still has, Edmonton's down 3-1, but he's got Edmonton to win the Stanley Cup Finals. And, it ain't over till it's over. That's Game 5's tonight in Florida. But, damn, what a heater for Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
A lot of cash.
Yeah. No, it is. I don't really follow gambling as much as you do, Mintzy. This has to be one of the biggest heaters that anybody has been on in terms of big game hunting.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
To be honest, and there's nothing better than watching your favorite teams win championships unless you're winning millions of dollars while they do it.
That's the part that it's like, that's so good. Like, you can't top that. And it's seeing Boston win last night. Obviously, it's great for Dave and for all of our Boston fans. It's great for the company. But as a sports fan, you get so jealous. Like, these guys are seeing their teams win while also making a shitload of money, and it's tough.
Yeah, what is this? Boston's 14th in
It's
24 years.
Yeah, I guess the Pats have won.
13, sorry. I know
Pat
Dave tweeted that out today, 14, including Michigan, so it would be 13.
Yeah.
So that's, that's what is more than half a year.
Yeah, I know. It had been 5 years since Boston won one, I believe. It was
What a drought.
I know. What a huge
I think
drought.
the last one I saw was the Red Sox in 2018.
Yeah, and the Patriots won 18
Yeah.
later that year when they beat the Rams in the Super Bowl, because I'm still butthurt about the Saints no call in the NFC Championship, but it's only 6 years later, and so maybe someday I'll get over it, but probably not. Well, to Dave's gambling heater, I'm on a run that's the opposite of that, but I finally won a game in the College World Series last night. Thank you to the Texas A&M Aggies. I was 0-7 before that. Times were tough. It got to the point yesterday after NC State lost, A&M fans were crowdsourcing money for me to bet on Kentucky in that game last night. And I was like, no, I like A&M tonight. And they came out, and Ryan Prager had a no-hitter into the 7th, and they won 5-1. And I've never been happier to be 1-7, boys, because that first win, felt good.
Congratulations to you on that. While you're here, can I actually ask you a question about the College World Series?
You can ask me whatever you want.
What is the format of it? It seems very confusing.
Okay, so what it is
there's 8 teams left right now?
Well, there's 6. But so it's 2 4-team tournaments there.
Okay.
And so that's why it's confusing. But it's like it's double elimination on each 4-team bracket. And right now, the one bracket, the Tennessee Volunteers are 1 win away from making the national championship, the 1 seed. Florida State and North Carolina play today. The loser's out. The winner has to beat Tennessee twice because it's double elimination.
Okay.
Tennessee's 2-0. Other side of the bracket, Texas A&M beat Kentucky. They're 1 game away, but they're in a brutal spot. Montgomery broke his ankle in Game 2 of the Super Regional, and then their other All-American, Jace Lavalette, pulled his hamstring last night. And so, I mean, that's just a tragedy, man. You make it all the way this far, and your 2 best players go out. But they're still only 1 game away from the national championship. Florida will play Kentucky in the game today, where loser's out, winner has to beat A&M twice. So right now, Tennessee and Texas A&M are sitting in the catbird seat, and then once the 2 4-team brackets are over, the national championship's best 2 out of 3 this weekend.
Okay.
So, but either way, Omaha's popping. Looks like, Tennessee Volunteers are overwhelming favorite right now. I think that side of the bracket is definitely the tougher side with Tennessee, Florida State, North Carolina. The gambling losing streak I went on, I lost Florida State was up 11-8 in the 9th with 2 outs. Tennessee had a player check a swing, but looked like he clearly went. They said he didn't, and then they got 2 hits in a row and won the game. And when that happened, I was like, oh, no. When stuff like that happens, things are headed south.
When the mistakes break down, then the runs come in.
But also, you've struggled with the College World Series
2021
in the past before, right? Yeah, this is a...
Well, yeah, I had a really good 2022.
Okay.
I had an awesome 2022 and a good 2023, so I thought it was in my rearview mirror, and I thought wrong.
Yeah.
I thought very wrong. Gamble responsibly, as always. Do it on DraftKings. They're the best for college baseball and everything with their daily promotions. Love that they have lines, run lines, money, over-unders, everything for the College World Series. But, yeah, it's been rough. And so Big Cat definitely quote tweeted, this is our college baseball expert last night when I was 0-7. And you know what? You can't blame him. If I were him, I would have trolled me too.
Hey, you just as easily could have been 7-0.
Now, look, the thing I will say, no one cares if you're 3-4. If you're gonna, I would much rather be 6-1 or 7-0, but it's like you'd rather almost lose spectacularly than be mediocre.
Sure.
If in a way. But 2 games today: Florida State, North Carolina at 1, Florida and Kentucky at 6, and then also we got Glenny here. Glenny, diehard New York Rangers fan, dude.
Yeah.
Twice in 3 years, y'all made the Eastern Conference Finals, falling in Game 6. To Florida, Austin 6 to Tampa a couple years ago.
Yeah, it sucks. Basically, in my lifetime, the Rangers have been to the conference finals. Not even in my lifetime, in the last 13 years, I've been to the conference finals 5 times. We're 1-4 in the conference finals, which kind of friggin' stinks. And lost in 6 to the Devils, lost in 6 to the Lightning, lost in 6 to the Panthers, lost in 6 to the Lightning again, and then we won in 6 to Montreal. But yeah, no, this year sucked. This year, the other night, 2 years ago, Tampa, that was kind of house money a little bit. We shouldn't have really been there. We won Game 7, 2 rounds before that. This seemed like it was the year everyone was freaking out with.
Y'all were great because y'all
with
great
the
all year.
1994 comparisons, 30 years later, blah blah blah. President's Trophy winner, the Chris Kreider Messier-esque thing with Carolina Game 6, starting off 7-0 in the playoffs, but frankly, the Florida Panthers are just too good. Yeah. They're too good. They're so good. I mean, not that we struggle with the Hurricanes, we beat them in 6, but like the Panthers are literally just a better team are just a better version of the Hurricanes with a real goalie, and they're just so good.
Is there any? So I mean, Edmonton blew them out in Game 4, but it kind of felt very similar to the Mavs Celtics Game 4, where it just got out of hand, and they're still got to be feeling. I honestly don't put even too much into it, but hockey's a crazy sport with momentum. Do you give Edmonton any chance to get back in this?
I do. So I will say hockey with momentum. I think people overrate momentum in hockey.
Okay.
I think more or less like every game is so different. Like I'm mostly I mean, it didn't work out with the Rangers. I'm mostly saying most of the time, most things will even out. Like earlier in the series against the Hurricanes, the Rangers' power play was absolutely popping off, and then next thing you know, it's 1-15. So it's just I'm even with all sports, I'm a big water always finds its level type of guy.
Yeah, no, you are. You
I
always
think that's a big war. I think that's a huge thing about sports. Like if one thing's going bad, eventually it'll go good. Like the Rangers, when we were up 2-1 against Florida, I was like, oh my god. We might actually win this. Might actually win this series solely because we've somehow won 2 out of these 3 games, and our top guys have played horrendous. Mm-hmm. So I was wrong there. But I mean, the Panthers are just so good. And the thing about them is you can't make mistakes about them. Like I was at Game 4 in Florida, and we were up 1-0, and then Zibanejad had literally a wide open net and missed the post. I immediately told everybody in the suite I was at, the series just ended. Like that. That's the moment. That's the exact moment I knew the series was over. You miss shit like that, and then the Panthers come back and take it over. You're cooked. They're so good at making you make mistakes. And they're insane.
Yeah, and you mentioned I know he had a bad game in Game 4, but their goalie Bobrovsky, is that right?
Sergei Bobrovsky.
Yeah, he is ridiculous. He got pulled in Game 4.
Yeah, I mean he's probably going to be a Hall of Famer at the end of the day. He's 2-time Vezina winner. He's about to be a Conn Smythe winner probably. But and then that's the thing though, like. It's game by game. Like, those 8 goals do not matter. I don't know if he got pulled, but those many goals he let up does not matter for Game 5. He'll probably let up 1 or 2 maybe tonight.
Yeah, no, it does. It was striking the semblance in the NBA Finals and Stanley Cup Finals, both being 3-0, and then Game 4 on the road just getting kind of blown out, letting it get away. I wouldn't go against Florida tonight. Florida made the Stanley Cup Finals last year, losing in 5 to Vegas. I actually got to go to Stanley Cup Final Game 5 last year when Vegas won, which was one of the coolest experiences of my life, dude. Hockey.
It's amazing. I do think this year, I do think now the Panthers are going to be like the new Lightning. They're so good. I will say the one little saving grace that's been nice. I know they had a big game, obviously Game 4, 8-1, but it was nice to see that McDavid's and Draisaitl have been kind of shut down as well. So like everyone's freaking out about Panarin and Zibanejad not doing right well. That's just how good the Panthers are. They're just so good.
What was the atmosphere like? It looks good on TV. Obviously, I know what Madison Square Garden's like because I went to games, and the Rangers' atmosphere is just, I mean, it's unbelievable. How was the atmosphere in Florida?
The atmosphere in Florida was fun. I went with Brooks Koepka, so it wasn't like we were in his suites. It wasn't like we were in the middle of the arena. But it was really fun. It was hard to get into. It took like 20 minutes to just get to the arena.
Really?
From the
Like traffic,
yeah,
or just
it was so
like
hard to
flow
get into.
around the arena?
It's tough to get into the arena. But once we got there, it was a fun time. I had a great time. Seemed like it was also a cool thing. Like people don't realize, I'm sure people realize, but like nationwide, like there's so many New Yorkers in South Florida.
Oh yeah.
Like there was so many Rangers fans, so many Panthers fans. I bet a lot of the Panthers fans are also from New York. So it's basically just like a New York excursion. Like I literally call I love Delray Beach. I go to Delray Beach all the time. We call it like the Sixth Borough. There's just so many New Yorkers there. So there's probably a bunch of them now Panthers fans. So there's just a lot of New York people. So it was a fun time. I had a great time.
Do you guys think that hockey is the best sport to watch in person?
1,000%.
Yeah.
See, I think my theory on it is the ratio hockey in person, especially in an arena, is like the best. But it's still for those like you get your eye trained on that puck. But I'm still struggling a little bit with that. Mm-hmm. And so, like, TV versus live, it's just so much better live. And then I think golf is the inverse. Because golf on the HD, on the TV, when you can see all the shots, is awesome. But when you're there live, I mean, it's cool to be in the atmosphere and be outside, but you can only see so little. Mm. And so I think it's like hockey, that they're like kind of the opposite.
Yeah, and like my favorite personal sport to watch on TV is football.
Exactly.
Like football is definitely my favorite sport, but the Rangers are my favorite team. So just going to Rangers games, like I just love going to Rangers games more. Hockey's way more fun live. Like football, I know this is gonna be a hot take. I fucking hate going to football games.
Really?
I think they're brutal.
Now, are you talking about NFL or college or
I'm
both?
talking about both. The actual
Both?
game of
Okay.
football live. Like I love going to a college town and like the fanfare, like the different
Tailgating bars.
tailgating. I love that shit. But once you get to the actual game, they are so long. And most college games are blowouts. It stinks.
Yeah. Also, like
If you go to a really good game at school, like I went the last 2 years, I'm lucky enough with Dana to go to friggin' LSU Bama and Bama LSU.
Yeah, that was
The game 2 years ago when LSU beat Bama in overtime.
Yeah, when they went for 2.
That was sick. Obviously, that was awesome. But like this year, we were shooting video all day. We were like walking around with a desk shooting video all day, and I was like, all right, we got to go back and chill before the game. I'm gonna soft launch this for you guys. Let's go back, chill a little bit, and go in at halftime. And we did, and it was awesome. Like,
Okay.
we were only in there for like an hour, 45 minutes, had a couple drinks, did Dixieland Delight.
Yeah.
Great move. But I do not regret it at all. But then they could go to a game, and we went to a game 2 years ago. We went to the South Carolina-Tennessee game that Hendon Hooker got hurt in.
Oh, well, it was a
63-7.
Yeah,
It was-
blowout.
I think everywhere the vibes were great, but we just stayed there for so long.
Yeah. It's also football is the best sport for television. It is truly like catered for television. So if you're watching at home, the broadcast is incredible.
Yeah.
You get the replays. You're also able to check in on the other. Like that was my one thing. Obviously, I loved when I was at Penn State going to Penn State games, and I still love going back to Penn State games. But I would get so pissed because I'm like, fuck, like there are other good games on that I'm missing because we're here at the game. Like, you know, as a full college football fan or as a full NFL fan, if you're at the game for your favorite team, you're missing out on everything.
And
So
frankly, like as a bigger guy, most of the stadiums are the bleacher seating. Like me
Yeah.
and Dana went to the big house. That was
oh my God.
terrifying. That was
don't you go
unbelievable.
in at the top?
We were in like row like 89. Like there's so many rows, but it's only the bleachers. And when it was
Yeah.
built, like there weren't fat people. Like you go to Fenway Park right.
Wait.
It wasn't. Like you go to Fenway Park right now. You know how small the seats are because it was
Oh,
built
yeah.
in 1908, 1912.
I guess so.
Like there's this much length for seats 1, 2, and 3, and like me and Dana were literally sitting on our side in the big house for 3 hours.
Yeah. That's
Well,
tough.
I do have a little college football rant right now. Speaking of LSU, so some big news over the yesterday came out. Les Miles is suing LSU for vacating 20 wins that put his winning percentage under 60%, which made him ineligible for the College Football Hall of Fame. And my take on this is the most ridiculous horse shit I've ever seen. Because I think LSU should be suing Les Miles for the offense he ran all those years. You're talking about a guy that was so dumb that he plays Alabama every year and would go 2 tight end sets and run toss back dives in the middle of Alabama's defense.
Yeah.
Like, you look at like all the receivers that have come through LSU, Odell, Landry, Jefferson, Chase, there have been a million of them. And to have the passing game they had for all those years with Les Miles is egregious, and that's putting it mildly. He was a moron, and I know he won those 7 titles, and I'm not saying you can't give him credit for that, but you know he did keep the Saban program going good, and I'll give him that. But, I mean, what he did to LSU's offense with the talent that comes out of South Louisiana is so absurd. And the fact that he should be thanking LSU for the rest of his life for having them and then keeping them that long, and for him to sue LSU. If I was an LSU fan, I mean, I don't know. He should have been gone years and years before he was. He didn't adapt to modern college football. And I just think it is an utter, just beyond a joke that he would sue LSU after he made all that money from them and kind of stole it on the offensive end, considering he was allegedly an offensive line coach and an offensive guy. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. I just thought that rubbed me really the wrong way.
I agree with you, but I also think what we've learned in the past couple weeks is the fact that the College Football Hall of Fame is such dog shit when it comes to like figuring out who's entering and the qualifications you need to hit. Like the fact that he has to hit 60. I hate that. I hate how many. There are so many people who are ineligible, both player and coach, because of all these just artificial rules that they've made up. Like, oh, you have to do this, or you have to hit that, you have to be an All-American. Like, it's just so stupid. That was my rant.
No, well,
to top your rant, not to top your rant.
Well, you're talking about the Mike Leach thing. The
Mike Leach is the
that's
most
the
egregious
biggest
example.
Because when you look at if you look at the big thing in football, people are like, oh, he didn't win a championship. He coached at Washington State, Texas Tech, and Mississippi State.
Yeah.
Nobody's winning a championship at those schools, period, ever. And he got Texas Tech up to number 2 that year when they beat him with the Crabtree touchdown. And he got him all the way up to there. But you're talking about a guy, he's the anti-Les Miles because Mike Leach innovated football. He was running the air raid that everybody runs now 20-something years ago. I mean, he was the pioneer of the modern spread offense in college football. He changed the way the freaking sport was played. Get his ass in the Hall of Fame and send Les Miles to the bus, as far as I'm concerned. Well, I mean, I saw what Les Miles did at Kansas. If he was a good coach, he went to Kansas and couldn't win a freaking game. You know, and then like Lance Leipold's gone in there and turned it around. If Les Miles was a good coach, you'd think he'd be able to win a game or 2 at Kansas. And I don't know. Anyway, I just think the LSU Les Miles thing is absurd. We've all seen a lot of chokes in our lifetime, and you feel empathy for people going through it. This Rory McIlroy situation over the weekend, boys, did y'all watch this?
I did not, but what did he miss? Two.
He missed two inside 4-foot putts in the last 3 holes, or 2 of those.
So now my only question is, I don't know how very much
holes.
golf works. I saw that he's just not playing for a few weeks.
He skipped the press conference after, and then just was driving off in his rental car, skidding out of the parking lot as fast as he could because he was so horrified about what happened. Which I felt some empathy for him, but like. What I've learned working for Dave Portnoy is, you got to stay in and face the music when it goes bad. You know, like it's going to be good and bad. You just got to take it. That's what I've kind of learned up here at Barstool in my time here. And he said he's taking a few weeks off because that was the most painful days of his career. I get all that, but he could have handled it better. But having said that, he hadn't won a major in 10 years since he won the U.S. Open, and he had it, and he was having one of the best rounds of his life on Sunday. He made like a 27-footer, a 20-footer, a 16-footer. He was tearing it up, and he was 496 or 497 on putts from inside 5 feet in his last 497 putts, and he missed like 2 in a row. Yeah. I mean, just brutal. Congrats to Hank. He had Bryson DeChambeau at 19-1. Hit a big win. So happy for Hank.
Then again, sorry, I don't want to interrupt. Thought you were done there, but what's he gonna say? They're just gonna be like, "Oh, what happened?" He's because I missed the putts.
Yeah, but people do respect if you stay in there and just take it though.
But what we also learned is that the golf media is very, very dramatic. Like, there's not a whole lot of drama in that sport. So when they do get something like this, they blow it up to be like this huge thing. Like, I didn't think it was that big of a deal. The fact that he just drove away. I don't know. But, yes, it is better, and he should have just stayed back and talked to the media. But what you say, Glenny, I don't know what you would say. Also, I don't know how you really – I'm not a golf guy. I don't know how you really, break down how you missed it. I just missed it. I don't know.
I would have preferred it one of the holes.
Yeah, what are you supposed to
I'm sorry I grabbed my throat in my biggest moment in 10 years.
Yeah, I feel bad for him. But at the same time, I don't know.
Wasn't a major?
Yeah, it was U.S. Open. That's why it was such a big deal. Because the way golf's geared, I mean, there's big tournaments on the PGA every week and live, but there's 4 majors a year, and you could argue that the PGA is one of the majors, but it's still nothing compared to the Masters and U.S. Open.
Right.
And it was just such a big moment. The fact he hadn't, he's one of the best golfers ever and hadn't won a major in 10 full years, and was up 3 strokes down the stretch. It was tough.
But he just saved his marriage, which is good.
And he probably – here's the thing, too. It's a tough thing to look at because we live in this championship or bust society. He still got second for millions of dollars.
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at it in that prism, he's still pretty damn successful. But, it's that fine line of, being successful, being happy. I mean, you got second in one of the hardest golf tournaments in the world. You can't be saying you're doing that bad. But the way in which it happened was tough. A couple other things to get to. Connor, I want to hear about this wedding.
Oh, yeah.
The content was fire. So you and Blutman, how did this start? Y'all went to Bismarck, North Dakota?
Yeah, that was another mostly sports thing. What we tend to do on that show is take very minute, dumb things and blow them up into something much bigger than it is, like the Milwaukee Andrews things I was describing earlier, but also this wedding. We got an invite, and this is actually why I wasn't watching the U.S. Open, because I was driving back from North Dakota. But we got an invite on opening day. We had an opening day where we had a bunch of people, fans, send in packages, send in gifts, whatever. And there were 2 fans, Jacob and Rachel, who both listened to the show. They were getting married this past weekend. And months ago on opening day, they sent in a wedding invite. And I said I had never been to a wedding. And
So they sent the wedding invite to where?
Just us here on Mostly Sports. They sent Mostly Sports an open invitation. You guys are welcome to come to our wedding in North Dakota in June. And yeah, I said I had never been to a wedding before. Mark and Brandon were like, okay, well, you're going. We're sending you as the show representative. And then we forgot about it for a long time, came back to it a couple weeks back, and Blutman was in the room at the time where we were like, okay, Connor, we forgot, but the wedding is coming up. We're going to send you. And then Blutman mentioned something about how I could make it a red wedding for any Game of Thrones out there, any Game of Thrones fans.
No, I'm aware of the
Okay, yeah. Because I have reddish hair. And then Mark and Brandon were like, well, Liam, like, you have even more red hair. We're going to send the both of you, and it's just going to be two redheads showing up to this random wedding in North Dakota where we knew nobody. Obviously, Jacob and Rachel were fans, but we didn't know anybody there. We had never met Jacob and Rachel, only exchanged like DMs with them. And yeah, we were officially the Reading Crashers.
What were you? How'd you have a good time?
I had a blast.
Little fun fact: I did this 5 years ago.
Really?
I put it on Barstool's Instagram. I want to start going to weddings.
Okay.
People invited me, and I went to a random wedding
Just by yourself?
by myself in Georgia. I was down there for the Barstool Classic,
Okay.
and they invited me to a wedding the next day, and I went.
You had a great time.
I had a great time. So I want to hear how you had.
I had a blast because we walked in there and I didn't know what the setting was going to be. We were late and I didn't know what like the whole vibe of the day was going to be. Like we had missed the dinner and I'm like, well, fuck, like did they have a plate for us? And we just were totally disrespectful and we didn't, get there in time for the dinner. But we got there. Everybody was so excited to see us. And like the word had spread that there were going to be two randos from Barstool coming. And so we walked in, and immediately people were like whispering, like, "Oh, like, are those the guys? Are those the guys?" And then we saw Jacob and Rachel, and they introduced us to a bunch of different people. And immediately we're just like mingling, and there was no problems. I was afraid that we were going to be like disrespectful, like showing up to the wedding late, but they were happy to have us. And I started polka dancing with one of the ladies, and I'm like, "No," and they're like, "Oh, it's great here in North Dakota, big thing, polka dancing." And so I started dancing with her, and then I'm dancing with another person's wife, and long story short, it was just a bunch of dancing while he's not a dancer, so he was just like off hanging out and like laughing at me as I'm on the dance floor. But it was fun. Like, it was great vibes and everybody was super nice. And as I'm sure you could relate to, like,
yeah, I was dancing with the grandmas.
Exactly.
As soon as I walked in, one of the guys offered me a threesome with his wife.
Wait, really?
I thought he was kidding. I think he was kidding, but literally that was the first guy I talked to. As soon as I walked into the establishment that wedding was at.
Well, it's our job is cool because like something like this where you do walk into a venue, if like people are aware you're coming, you're never like socially anxious. Maybe you are for a little bit, but like people are very like willing to come up to you and talk to you, and they want to hang out and they want to get to know you. And that's what we experienced here, where it was like everybody was just so kind, and we never felt like we were uncomfortable or awkward. Like we were never just like hanging out by ourselves in the corner. Like everybody was like very happy to talk to us and entertain us. So it was a really good vibes type of night. And I got introduced to, wedding culture.
And also a wedding, you do have to remember, not everyone knows each other at the wedding.
True.
You think going in, everyone knows each other. At the end of the day, at the very least, half the people don't know each other.
This was like 250, 300 people. It was a big
how many
wedding.
people in North Dakota?
Yeah, no, yeah. I think it was an open invite at one point where they're like, hey, like we're at this place. Like if anybody wants, they just put it up on like their Instagram story. Like if anybody wants to roll through, we got a cash bar, we got beer, like come over. So it was massive, and we had an awesome time. So I think for sure. Also, Blutman, I gave him credit on Mostly Sports. Great travel partner, just ultimate vibes guy. Goes with the flow. We had a bunch of really cool ideas of like what we should do. We went and saw all these like really weird fucking monuments.
Yeah, no, the content was great.
Landmarks and everything. And that was Blutman. He was like, oh, we got to go see this giant fucking cow on the top of a hill. And we were just traveling around all of North Dakota, and we tacked on another 5 hours to our trip on the way back. So it was from 9 a.m. when we left the hotel in North Dakota the day after the wedding. And then we got back here in Chicago at 2 a.m.
Yeah, I was going to ask how far of a drive that was.
It's usually 12 hours, but because of all the stops and all the different things that we did, we tacked on another 5.
That's good. You need that. As someone that travels a lot, you need the good travel. You need a good travel partner. Having bad travel people with you when you're traveling stinks.
Well, so, yeah, we did the road trip, obviously. I don't know how different it would. Honestly, I don't think it would have been as fun if we were flying. Like, I think being on the road actually made it better. But if we were to do it again, which Brandon and Mark are already talking, like, we're going to send you guys somewhere else again, then I don't know how that would go. I don't know how many drives, because Liam doesn't drive. Liam does not have a driver's license.
Okay.
I don't even know if he existed in the eyes of the U.S. government until about a year ago, because I don't think he had any type of identification on him. But anyway, yeah, so he couldn't drive.
The man knows some college football.
He does. So I was doing the entire, in total, I think I drove 30 hours over the course of 2 days.
And this was, I think I saw this. Was this both of y'all's first wedding?
Yeah, well, he lied, or he forgot. He said he had never been to a wedding before, and that was part of what made it such a fun premise. Like these two random fucking redheads who had never been to a wedding before, know nothing about weddings, showing up to this completely random one with a bunch of strangers in North Dakota. But he said that after the fact, he was like, oh, my dad just reminded me I had been to one before.
How old are you?
I'm 24.
How old is Blutman?
25.
I haven't met him yet. I got to meet him.
He is an enigma.
He's something.
Yeah.
I traveled with him. We went to the Indian Wells tennis tournament.
Oh, yeah.
And no, I agree. He's great to travel with. He's just low key. He's chill.
Yeah.
I went to a party with him, and like party that's not really his scene. You know,
not at all.
No, he kind of lays back in the background.
But I will say, and I got to give him credit, like, I do think, and it sounds like I'm like his father saying this, but like he did break out of his shell a decent amount when we were at the wedding, and he was talking to people. He did get on the dance floor once, and he was just doing some like fist pumping, but that was pretty
I will
much
say
it.
bad characteristic. It's a good characteristic what we just said, that he wanted to stop to do stops.
Yeah.
But when you're not the driver, you can't be requesting stops for 5 hours at the stop.
Well, no.
Insane.
So there was a distinction between he never, not once, asked to stop for food or to go to the bathroom. It was always like, there was a giant buffalo we should go check out.
How does he know? Was he just Googling?
He was getting DMs. That was the cool part too. Again, going back to like the mostly sports audience, they were just DMing us, not like they were very invested in this very weird thing that we were doing, and they're DMing us nonstop on the ride home. Just dozens of pictures, like, oh, there's this giant goose that you guys should go check out. Here's a giant pony or an elephant. Like,
seems like there was a lot of large animals.
Yeah. We were just racking that all up. Oh shit.
Good morning.
Ohio's Tate. How's it going? But yeah, no. So it was a great time, and Blutman was the best.
Hell yeah. Can we get? I'm gonna get Tate. Can Tate jump in for a second?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I'll get Tate. Hey, Tate, you're jumping over here for a second.
Oh, I don't mean to squeeze.
No, we gotta put. No, you're not. I gotta get Tate on for.
I'm here all week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Connor's part of the Wake Up Mintzy this week.
Was this your debut?
Yeah,
How'd it go?
really well.
Yeah, we had a big-
Enchanting voice.
So we're
Is this your
welcome.
debut?
What?
Is this your debut?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, welcoming Ohio's Tate in here. First of all, Tate, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing this morning?
Doing well. Saw you in here late. You and Titus did the post-game show, the Mark Titus show, after the Celtics won banner 18 last night.
Congrats to the Celtics.
Yes, that's the truth. Well, I want to have Tate in here because shout out to Tate, shout out to Lucas. Debuted a new project yesterday we've been working on, and it was Tate's idea. And I remember it came up, Tate, right when he moved up here. We went to dinner your second day at Barstool, and we were kicking ideas around, and the Billy Madison, Mintzy Madison thing came up. You had a bunch of good ideas, and right when you said that one, I was like, oh, that one has legs. So we debuted it yesterday, Glenny. I'm going back to school yet again because I did it when I was 30, 31.
Dangerfield?
Yeah, and, trying to prove the stories that I'm no fool. And we debuted our first grade video yesterday and did pretty damn good. People were into it.
I would say that episode 1 was received well. Numbers look good, and I'm excited for the test on Monday.
So just some background behind the scenes. I'm in the dark on everything, but that's what makes it organic. Tate and Lucas are doing everything. I don't get to know anything what's coming. I've dropped in like a couple of suggestion ideas to them, but that's it. I mean, literally, I go in there, I have no freaking clue what's coming. And the clip we had yesterday, the sneezing thing was.
I've actually got that.
Okay, we're gonna play this clip because like one of our lessons in first grade was on hygiene. Because when you're 6 years old, you need to learn good hygiene. And Tate and I, here's this clip.
You're going to fake sneeze really, really loud. And when you fake sneeze, I'm going to put germs on your hands. Does that make sense?
Here was we were trying
All right.
to teach Mintzy,
You can give me a good sneeze?
how to wash his hands.
Ready?
And to do so, we need him
Set,
to sneeze
go.
into his hands. he refused.
Can you leave your
to
hands out like
leave
this?
his
But I
hands
always
up
cover
on
my
his
mouth
knees
when I
'cause that's
sneeze.
not good etiquette.
Everyone does.
Yeah.
It's a
That's
natural
bad
instinct.
hygiene.
Yeah, I know.
Glenny,
I
don't
get
when
that.
you
Do you see
sneeze,
what I'm
you always
saying?
cover
The
your mouth,
germs
correct?
are coming out of your mouth, and I'm going to put the germs onto your
Why'd you
hands.
sneeze
But
right
I
into your
always
head?
put my hands around my mouth
Glenny, I would say when you
to
sneeze-
get away from germs.
Yeah,
Do you
usually
get what I'm
you're
saying?
one of
I get what you're saying.
I
but
was
I'm
trying to show him
trying to
that if you do
protect myself from
this,
germs.
you
It's
get
good.
germs. He had to leave his hands out.
So you
and
don't
put
have to
glitter
cover
on
your
it.
mouth. But what
But you
I'm,
always,
said, no,
but I
I'd
always
rather-
cover my mouth when I sneeze. Literally,
All
and
right,
that's a
proper
total
motions
natural
to
all right,
reaction.
then I'll try and get it right there when you do. Okay? All right, ready, set, go.
This was- Yeah. That was Mintzy's.
Do you see why I wanted
I said
to
Tate,
do it in
maybe.
the hands,
Maybe go
Mintzy?
to HR about Mr. Tate. I may be going to HR about Mr. Tate.
So you're going to HR already?
I just
I don't know where the hell this thing's going.
I don't.
but I did like the start
feel
of it.
that-
I thought it was a lot of fun. You're having fun with it, as is Lucas. You said my next thing. I've got a test coming up.
Yeah, you got a test Monday. Test Monday will be live here in the office. If you pass the test, you move on to second grade. If you fail the test, you'll repeat first grade. So the goal is to get you all the way graduated through high school. So
I just want to know. So parties after junior high and high school.
Mintzy, we've talked about Wake Up Mintzy every time I've seen you since this started, and you mentioned the party
I know.
every single
yeah.
time.
We'll celebrate.
Yeah, I mean, graduation party is a big part of finishing school.
Cupcakes, the whole nine, yeah.
Glenny, I think he wants more than cupcakes.
I know you mentioned just now through high school. Does that mean you're going to take the SAT?
I don't know. I'm not saying no. Whatever's coming is coming, and I'm along for it. And I've got a good. I'm going to try to bring a good, fresh attitude every day, with no idea where it's going, and I'm just going to try to roll with the punches.
You keep saying the no idea where it's going. Do you know what else that's like? That's like school.
Yeah.
You're the student.
Well, yeah, but
What-
usually when you're a student, you're like, okay, I got this ACT coming, or I got
Okay,
this. But
fair
you did
enough.
tell me I have a test coming, so
Yep,
you told
yeah,
me.
Test on
So I'll know when I have a
Monday.
test. But I'm excited about it. So the plan is they're going to be coming out every Monday.
Every Monday. So test this Monday, lesson the next. Test, lesson, test, lesson. So
Okay.
should be good to go.
Hell yeah. Well, what else is going on with you, Barstool? How we doing? Now you're a few months in. You got your footing. How are things?
Just finished month 3. Doing the Mintzy stuff. Been getting into TikTok a little bit, but still just doing
Throwing
blogs
some
every
first
day.
pitches.
Oh yeah, throwing some first pitches. Looking for an independent ball team. We just finished college the other night. Still recovering from the 999 challenge. Glenn, you ever done the 999 challenge?
I've heard about it. I don't really drink beer anymore,
Okay.
so I would really have no chance. What is it again? It's nine beers, 9 hot dogs in 9 innings.
Within 9 innings.
If I could do high dudes, I could do that easily.
Really?
Pretty easily.
What
But
would be so? I guess I did it wrong. I drank all the beers first and then ate the hot dogs, and they're saying you should go 1 per inning.
Yeah, I think you'd have to pace yourself, right? 1 hot dog, 1 beer.
Well, I puked after, so
You look like you'd had a few on some of those videos too.
16 ounces.
Wait, you tried to do the hot
Oh,
dogs
there were
first?
16-ounce
No,
beers.
so this
there were
was-
16-ounce beers.
Yes.
Oh, that's tough.
So I did, Glenny, I did the beers, but they didn't have 12 ounces. So I was like, fuck it. So 9 16 ounces is 12 beers.
Mm.
I did that all straight.
Without the
Maybe
carbs.
you'll get drunk and be able to have
That-
some hot dogs.
So then I go to the concession stand. I was like, I'd like 9 hot dogs, please. And they were like, buddy, it was like Hot Dog Wednesday. We're sold out of hot dogs. How about
Burn.
And they said, how about some brats? So I had
That's tough. The brats are a lot thick. That's not
yeah. So I had 6 outs to eat 9 brats, and I ate 7, and then on the 8th puked.
yeah,
It's a good effort.
12 beers.
it would be tough. The 9 hot dogs is a lot. It's a lot of food.
And the no people are like, oh, I did this 5 years ago. Listen, baseball games take substantially shorter now with the pitch clock. Odds were against me.
I traditionally, in my brain, think baseball is 3 hours. It's not 3 hours anymore.
It was not 3 hours.
Yeah.
Also want to bring up, you were on the we're going to talk about this with Glenny too. Dozen trivia tournament going on right now, quarterfinal round. Tate, you replaced Arian Foster on macrodosing.
Look-alike.
Yeah, y'all tough matchup, expert. Y'all scored a few points though.
Yeah, we took the 1-0 lead. I would say that I don't care who was filling in yesterday. Brandon Walker's team is really good.
Oh, no doubt about it.
I think
No doubt about it.
all 3 of them were better than all 3 of us.
I actually told Stephen Shea before. I said I got experts -7.5 in this game, and when they hit the 2-pointer at the end, they won by
To beat
8.
us by 8. Glenny, you guys play again tonight?
Yeah, we are playing Frank at the Frankettes.
How's that? I've never seen them play. How's that go?
They got a good combo.
I think we beat them earlier in the year. I think
They're good though, man.
they go as the
Frank's really
Tankos.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
he carries that team?
No, Nick and KB are really good too. But
KB's geography.
Frank's usually their X factor.
unbelievable.
Yeah, KB's really good at geography. Nick's really good at celebrity mashup. So it's going to be a tough match. I mean, they're third ranked for a reason. So just got to go in there and see what happens.
Uptown Balls, 2 years ago, won the tournament. I was a part of the Honkers first year with Coley, Mick, and Robbie that won the first one. So, people forget Glenny and I, two dozen champions in here. But yesterday, big win for y'all.
Yeah, it was fun. Let me tell you, I got shockingly nervous they're the best.
What? So the bachelor party. So you've been traveling, Glenny. You've been all over the road. The bachelor party thing Dana's doing, it's not a bachelor party, but
I've been on 2 of them. I think he's done that. We did 6 of them. He was traveling, him and Eddie, to find the best bachelor party city to go on his actual bachelor party.
Okay.
So
it's kind of like when he was doing all the colleges figuring out his team.
Yeah,
it's kind of it's like similar.
Beers knows how to arrange a video series, but yeah, no, and he's doing beer tweets. I forgot how awesome beer tweets are. There's a 31-year-old guy and he chugs beer really fast.
How often? It's great to know the beer guy. Is it cool to be the beer guy? It's obviously cool, but
I feel like it's a heavy.
I can't drink like I
feel like it's a cross to bear almost.
Yeah, he always says I will be doing beer treats for the rest of my life.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. How often is he doing this?
He's actually doing a thing right now. He's chugging a beer every day till he chugs up with Luke Combs. So he's been doing it every day. He's been beer shooting every day.
It's impressive.
Where was your favorite of the cities you went to for the bachelor party?
For me and him, I only went on the Austin one and the Tampa one. Austin was fun. That was actually my first time in Austin, which is quite shocking.
You get some good barbecue?
Oh, yeah. We went to Leroy and Lewis, and we went to Terry Black's.
Shout out to
I go to Tampa all the time. One of my good friends lives there, and Tampa's an awesome city. I love Tampa, so both are great.
Yeah, I did a Tampa bachelor party, real one last year, and I thought it was awesome too. And I hadn't really spent any time there. Love
very
Austin.
underrated. It gets caught in the shadows of Miami and Orlando in the Florida realm, but Tampa rocks.
Tampa also sneaky. I believe people think best strip club city.
It
in
is
America.
strip club capital.
Did not know that.
And also, they got St. Pete there, too, 20 minutes away. Amazing town as well.
Hell yeah. So Glenny only stands, still rocking. Seems like it's going well.
Yeah, seems like it. I think it's going pretty well. We got some more episodes coming out. We just went to L.A. to do some episodes with Hustler. Had some lovely queens out there on the show.
I believe it.
And, just doing that Sunday, all that jazz.
How's the road life going for you? Because I know you were on, I travel a lot, but yours is.
I love traveling. I think this year I'm going to get Diamond. I didn't get Diamond last year on Delta.
Okay.
I think this year I'm going to get it, which hypes me up.
You know where Delta was founded?
Atlanta, Georgia.
Monroe, Louisiana.
I had no idea.
They moved
headquarters.
No, they moved to Atlanta, but they're from Delta and Coca-Cola.
I'm a Delta guy. That's
Delta
good.
and Coca-Cola both founded my hometown. Crazy.
And now they both moved to Atlanta.
They both did. They both got out of North Louisiana.
They
both got out of Northeast Louisiana, and I think they've done okay since they've done that.
Yes.
Regardless, but guys, you got anything else you got on your mind when you said you had a good meal last night in Chicago?
Oh yeah, a few of us went to Rosemary in Chicago.
Okay.
Let me tell you, may have been the best meal I've ever had.
Really?
Which is a lot.
Glenny.
Which is a lot for me to say.
Wow.
I was I keep a list. When I'm traveling, I keep a list of my favorite bites that I have on a restaurant. I have a huge notepad app.
Can you please share this for the people?
I have it. It's a huge list.
Okay.
I may put it behind a paywall.
I would say people want this content.
But I couldn't decide. I usually do one bite per restaurant on the list. I couldn't decide which bite to put on. Every single bite we had was fantastic.
What were a couple of the best ones?
It was Croatian Italian, which is
I've never heard
very
of
interesting
I've
combination.
never heard of that combo.
There was some sort of crostini they had with a little coppa, which is like a dried cured Italian meat with some ricotta on this fat piece of bread. There was a lamb ragu pasta, which was amazing. Cacio e pepe. The way these ribs were prepared, it was almost in some sort of, almost like a Chinese-esque sauce, but it was a Croatian. It was unbelievable. Their artichoke pasta was crazy. There was an ice cream dessert, a little coffee ice cream. I love that.
I'm a coffee ice cream guy.
There was one less. Oh, the less protein was this thing called. This is what I actually decided to put on as my list. This thing called cevape. It was like an Eastern European sausage.
Okay.
And it's served with a pita that you make. They put a little roasted pepper spread, onions, and tzatziki. It was almost like you make your own high-end sausage and peppers.
Oh wow.
That's almost what it was equated to. It was awesome.
Damn. I'm glad you told me about that because I have not been to Rosemary.
And great martini glasses.
Have not been to Rosemary. The Chicago restaurant scene.
Yeah, it's a great food city.
Serious thing. And today I'm looking forward to more. If you hadn't checked out the first Mintzy Madison, check it out. Keep doing good things. It's been really fun having you in Barstool the last few months. Glad it's going well. Glenny, where are your travels next after this?
I'm hosting a party in Nashville actually on Saturday.
Oh yeah, Barstool Bar.
Me, Caleb, and Rowan are hosting a 1-year anniversary party for the Barstool Bar. So if anyone's in Nashville, come hang out. We got Cheat Codes, Bryce Vine, Tanner Riddell, Chase Wright, Lily Rose, bunch of great country artists, DJs. It's gonna be a fun Saturday.
Dude, that Barstool Bar in Nashville freaking pops, man.
Yep.
I went during the SEC basketball tournament in March. Dude. Wow.
We got it ready and it's the whole parking lot across the street, so it's a whole outdoor concert. It's gonna be freaking rock and roll.
Sounds like it's gonna be a great Saturday in Nashville,
excited.
Tennessee. Well, awesome. Well, love having Glenny in here. One of my favorite people at Barstool. Appreciate you waking up, doing Wake Up Mintzy. Thanks to Dude Wipes and Stella Blue, as always, for sponsoring us. Tate, you're the man, even though
brother.
I feel like we're going to have some more interesting classroom dynamics.
Monday will be fun.
Coming out, shout out Tyler Moody, producing, holding it down. And great to have Connor Griffin in here as well. Tomorrow, we got Dana Beers making his Wake Up Mintzy debut. That's going to be something as well. Good luck today in the quarters. What time? 6 o'clock?
7 o'clock Eastern. I'm an Eastern guy. 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central.
Uptown Balls for Frank and the Frankettes. Check out the dozen
My
trivia.
heart's beating already.
Trivia tournament. It's gonna be a hell of a day. Let's go attack it, fellas.
Thank you, Ben.